China's yuan slips on dollar demand, but heads for best week in 2 months. Shanghai, March 17. Reuters, China's yuan weakened against the dollar on Friday, due to corporate demand for the greenback, but the Chinese currency was on track for its best week in more than 2 months. The People's Bank of China set the midpoint rate at 6.8873 per dollar prior to market open, weaker than the previous fix of 6.8862. In the spot market, the yuan opened at 6.8980 per dollar and was changing hands at 6.9019 at midday, 16 pips weaker than the previous late session close and 0.21% softer than the midpoint. For the week, the onshore yuan is set for a nearly 0.2% gain against the US unit, the biggest weekly percentage rise since mid-January. Traders said the domestic forex market shrugged off increases in short-term interest rates that China's central bank made on Thursday. Economists said the move was a bid to stave off capital outflows and keep the yuan currency stable after the Federal Reserve raised U.S. rates overnight. On Friday, a state-owned Chinese newspaper said the United States has historically followed a selfish interest rate policy, warning of negative spillover effects from the Fed's rate hiking cycle. The traders said there would have been a real impact on the domestic market if China had raised its benchmark interest rate. But the increases in interbank rates had no impact, traders said, as they were catching up with ones the market had already made. The market was in tentative mood. And there is some resistance at around 6.9030 per dollar level, said a Shanghai-based dealer at a foreign bank, adding traders were cautious and the yuan-dollar direction not so clear amid uncertainty in the relationship between China and the United States. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson will be in Beijing on Saturday and Sunday to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping. On his first trip to Asia, the former oil executive is seeking to reassure nervous allies facing North Korea's growing nuclear and missile threat and press China to do more on perhaps the most serious security challenge confronting President Donald Trump. China's commercial banks sold a net $10.1 billion of foreign exchange in February, the lowest level in 6 months, down 47% from January and the lowest amount since August, data from the foreign exchange regulator showed on Thursday. The Thomson Reuters, GEX Global CNH Index, which tracks the offshore yuan against a basket of currencies on a daily basis, stood at 94.62, weaker than the previous day's 94.84. The global dollar index fell to 100.25 from the previous close of 100.36. The offshore yuan was trading 0.36% firmer than the onshore spot at 6.877 per dollar. Offshore one-year non-deliverable forwards contracts, NDFs, considered the best available proxy for forward-looking market expectations of the yuan's value, traded at 7.0963, 2.95% weaker than the midpoint. One-year NDFs are settled against the midpoint, not the spot rate. The yuan market at 0352 GMT. Onshore spot. Item current previous change BOC midpoint 6.8873 minus 0.02% spot yuan 6.9019 6.9003 minus 0.02% divergence from 0.21%. Midpoint. Spot change YTD 0.65% spot change since 2005 19.92%. Revaluation. Key indexes. Item current previous change Thomson 94.62 94.84 minus 0.2. Reuters, GEX CNH index. Dollar index 100.25 100.36 minus 0.1. Divergence of the dollar-yuan exchange rate. Negative number indicates that spot yuan is trading stronger than the midpoint. The People's Bank of China, BOC, allows the exchange rate to rise or fall 2% from official midpoint rate it sets each morning. Offshore CNH market. Instrument current difference. From onshore. Offshore spot yuan 6.877 0.36%, offshore 7.0963 minus 2.95%. Non-deliverable forwards. Premium for offshore spot over onshore. Figure reflects difference from box official midpoint, since non-deliverable forwards are settled against the midpoint,